All right. So I am 2 weeks away from my flight, my one-way flight to Bangkok. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm doing it and why I think a lot of other young people are making the same move. A lot of young entrepreneurs are making the same move. So last year I had the luxury of visiting a place called Bali, Indonesia last year. I also went to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and I went to Manila in the Philippines. There's this region of the world that Americans don't always hear about called Southeast Asia, okay? And this is where these countries are. You've got Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, Indonesia. I don't know if you count Japan in that or not. And there's also, Singapore technically is its own little country, city-state. And I'm sure I'm missing something very obvious as well. Oh, Vietnam. Vietnam's another big one. So anyways, the truth is that what I discovered there was a few different major things that are making me, as a young American entrepreneur, want to move to that region of the world. Okay, so I spent some time in South America as well. And what I realized in my time in Southeast Asia was that, one, it's really safe there. So if you're traveling in general, and for me, for instance, I just got this camera, I'd rather not have it stolen. I'd rather not even have to think about it getting stolen. And when I spent that time in Southeast Asia, listen, anywhere you go, there's gonna be thieves. So if you're gonna come into the comments and say some crazy stuff about that, don't. I mean, you can actually, you say what you wanna say, but the truth is while I was there, I felt no worries about people stealing anything. That doesn't mean I'm gonna just leave my stuff out and whatever. But people do say that too. They're like, you can leave your car keys out at a bar and you'll be fine. People will very, very, very carefully make sure that you get your stuff back. There's just something about the culture there that's just way different. Now, obviously, everywhere you go in the world, there's gonna be bad apples and bad actors. Okay, but the overall general culture is that, for instance, someone's going to look at that happening and do something about it before the bad actor even realizes that it's happening, right? Or that it's an opportunity to come up on. Just saying. Anyways, that's number one. Now, infrastructure-wise, that kind of does take some of the safety points back down. So if you're riding on a motorcycle or on a motorbike, on a scooter, the roads have crazy levels of potholes everywhere you go, in Bali in particular. And in other parts of Southeast Asia, it can be an issue. The roads, for instance, can be a little bit sketchy. In Indonesia and Bali, rather, you've got open cables. And when it rains hard or if it storms and stuff, those cables could come down and there's open wires and stuff you'll see sometimes. And you're like, I don't know if that could kill me or not. But so there's some trade-offs on the safety thing for sure. But the people, at least you don't have to worry about the people. There's also, obviously, you have natural disasters that can hit those regions. Bangkok earlier this year actually had an earthquake, and that scared a lot of people. It didn't harm too many people. Some people I believe, did pass from that incident. It was a very small amount, but there was cracks that would appear in all the walls and all these buildings and stuff like that. So anyways, there's trade-offs to the safety side of things, but it's one of the major things that made me think about it, at least versus South America. Okay. Now, and even in America, this is an issue. And even in Europe, I've heard it's an issue with safety. So moving on. Another big reason is that obviously, all right, ding dong, the cost of living is much lower. Okay, so you can rent an apartment for $1,000 a month and live really well in a place like Bangkok, Thailand, which is where I'm going first. And I'll keep you guys updated on all that as we go. There's really not too much to say about that. The food is cheaper. The food can be healthier compared to the food options that you have in the United States, right? All the genetically modified fruit and vegetables that we have, all the pesticides and stuff, all the plastics and everything, all the issues that we have with our food, all the cancer, all the sugar, all that stuff. And trust me, it's there too. But there's options, okay, that aren't gonna just break the bank. You don't have to go to Whole Foods and spend $300, $500 on some groceries just to eat a normal diet for the month, right? And maybe I'm underdoing it. Maybe I'm way underdoing how much it actually costs to eat healthy here, because I don't I have like meal plan stuff that I do. So anyways, that's another big thing. Now, the other big thing is that I've realized in America, and this is a good thing and a bad thing. This is a trade-off for you as an entrepreneur. I lived in Miami for 6.5 years. Everything there was about money, not about business, not about being successful. It's about money itself, right? And this is Miami in particular. And the issue with that is that you run into a bunch of unscrupulous individuals that will do anything for money and think that that is okay or that that is cool. So you meet people that are making money, but the way that they're doing it is something that you might not want to surround yourself with. And so as a young man, you might get caught up in stuff that you don't even necessarily realize. You might be around people that are doing some crazy stuff and you just don't even know. You just know that they're successful. Now, you learn, right, to be like, oh, a little bit more discerning about what kind of successful are these people. But you have to constantly sort and sift because there's so many people that are just BSers and they're professionals. I'm talking about that is a literal profession in a place like Miami. And now Miami is not all of America, but it does represent the spirit of America in the sense of like, by any means necessary, I'm gonna get money, even if that means I'm going to absolutely murk my brother's opportunities to also come up. Or do some stuff that's nefarious and like jeopardize anyone around me's reputation as well. I didn't have anything crazy like this happen, but I could see it, right? I come from the South in the United States where things are a little bit more humble. So when people lead with money, when they lead with their pockets and they're flashy, it's like, it's already a red flag to me. But like in the States in general, what I learned, traveling to Europe and spending time in Southeast Asia, is like, why are we so obsessed with the money itself? Why does the money need to go to buying things and to like having clothes? And it's just like an overall thing. I'm not saying everyone's in America is trying to buy Ferraris. No, but what I am saying is that everyone's driving Audis. Everyone's driving Mercedes-Benz just because of the brand. And it's like, wait a minute, why are you doing that? Like, why is that normal? Why is it normal to go out and spend money on things that don't do anything for you besides purchase status? I simply don't subscribe to that, right? And I'm like, I don't care about status in that regard. If status is gonna be, especially if status is gonna be based upon physical items. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I like cars. I love cars. But I actually love cars. So when you see people cornily spending money on cars, and that's the only thing they got, it's just like, brother, what are we doing here? So that's the biggest thing for me is like, I realized in Bali that you can live in a place where first off, you can get a better deal, just economically, better food, better lifestyle, be on a beach, better fitness opportunities, crazy gyms and facilities for cheap, for way cheaper than what you ever could in the United States. You couldn't even dare to find those types of opportunities for the level of price that you're gonna pay in Southeast Asia. And I can be around people that are more aligned with the mindset. And that goes to the people that live there and the foreigners that are attracted to it. The same reason that I'm attracted to this place is the same reason that other people are attracted to it. They realize that they can live a better life, be at peace, and not have to worry about materialistic stuff. Not have to be full on capitalist mode all the time. It's like, no, what if I want to use my time? What if my time is the thing that I value? If you follow my stuff closely, I say time is not money. Time is not money. Time is precious. And this is one of the things that I think that people that are in that region of the world from the United States or from the West in general, they understand that. And so I'm just trying to move to a place where I can be more aligned with those types of values of like, what if I just want to go to the beach today? What if I'm building my business so that I can have time and freedom so that I can live my life? I only have so many years on the planet. I would like to live my life. Now, this came up on one of my podcasts with Ben over at Memes and Markets. We were talking about a little bit of this. And he was like, oh, I figured maybe it's just because it's an economic thing for you. And it's like, no, it's not just that. It's that, and I can be around people that are more aligned with my life and the things that I believe in. Like, I'm telling you, it's the whole, it's not just having lived in Miami for 6.5 years. Don't get me wrong. That played a big role in me realizing the extreme to which we take it in America. but in general, like you just realize, like, wait a minute, why does everyone have a brand new car? Why is that like the goal? Why is that the standard of success, is to like have a car? Like what? What does that do for you? It does not do anything for you other than get you from point A to point B. So why do you need a new car? That's a sign of success. And it's like, but that money can be used to compound. That money can be used to make you way, way, way more financially successful. People don't want to be financially successful. They want to be successful on the exterior. They want people to see them as successful. And that's a bad use of resources. If you really have people that you're out here looking out for, and this is another thing, right? Like, I don't come from a bunch of money. So to me, like, when it comes to money, like, I don't see it as a thing to go and buy stuff. I see it as a way to like free my people. And I just think that like that gets lost in America. It gets lost for even people who are even way worse off than me. For people, and that's the worst part about it, is it's the poorest people that are stuck in the most aggressively capitalistic and materialistic mindsets. The music that we have and the way that it pushes that stuff. Our entire culture is built off of consumption. And that is a complete marketing ploy. That's what keeps the wheels on the whole capitalistic machine moving. And guess what? You better bet. Another thing, so I learned that saying time is not money, time is precious from a seminar. Another thing I learned in that seminar was to put yourself on the other side of the equation. So instead of complaining, right, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I hate America, I hate America. Look, America has its offerings. I'm gonna take myself to where I think it's better. And as I do that, guess what I'd be willing to do? Sell all of the stupid stuff to these Americans. I'm gonna get on the other side of the equation. I'm not here to complain, y'all. But I am trying to get it across that we are completely brainwashed in the States. And when you go to places like South America, and you realize how happy people are without having not a nan compared to what we have access to and what we spend our money on. Like, they wouldn't even fathom. They want those things too, right? But they're not gonna just spend that money on those things. They don't have the option to, let's be real. A lot of people in other parts of the world don't even have the option to think about spending money like that. And we just think that that's normal to just go and buy a nice car. It's like, bro, that one car, that $30,000 that you just spent could give you an entire year of freedom in a country like in Southeast Asia or in South America. And now that is a result of the capitalistic system that we have here, right? Our dollar is strong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be happy and proud of all of that. But what I'm saying is that if you're young and you're willing to go and learn new cultures and want that and think that that's a good idea, then spending all your money on $3,000 worth of rent to live in a shoebox in New York City, and that's the low end, like, bro, like that might not get you to where you want to go. It may, by the way, if that's where you want to be and that's where you're trying to do that. My goal, and here's how I'm going to lay this out for you now, right? What I'm trying to do is I'm going to start myself off in Southeast Asia, build a really nice nest egg, like be good, build my business to where it's flowing, I'm solid. And then from there, the goal is to then take myself, okay, this isn't working. And then the goal is to take myself to either somewhere like Dubai, I don't know, maybe there's somewhere else in Europe where there's like a little bit of a nicer style of living and having also the opportunity to be around entrepreneurs and, like, you know, move up a little bit. I might skip that part, don't get me wrong, and then eventually go to New York, okay, where the biggest of all business is going down at. So anyways, my point was, it's not a forever solution. It's just simply a stepping stone here. I'm leaving America so that I can go and get myself right. And then I can move into, all right, like, we've graduated now you move to America. What does everyone else want to do? They want to come to America. It's like, well, I'm not up here. So let me like get up somewhere and then move myself over to America. Personally. But, so I just wanted to share that, like, why I'm moving, or at least gonna try. I'm gonna try. If things start going south, I will very quickly come back to the States, to be clear. So this is just my next move. I'm going to Bangkok in 2 weeks. I'll keep you guys updated throughout that and hopefully take you guys along for the ride. Let me know if you guys wanna learn more about why I'm moving there or what it's like to move there, or if you guys want to see what it's like when I touch down, let me know in the comments, and then we can share some of that as well. But as a young entrepreneur, I think it makes a lot of sense to take advantage of geo-arbitrage, is what people call it, where your currency is strong. You can take that currency that you're earning and go and live somewhere else in the world for much cheaper, build, have runway as an entrepreneur, and create the life that you want. So that's my goal.